In today's video, we're cutting straight to the chase, focusing on the top GPUs for the Intel Core i7-13700K. With a blend of professional analysis and comprehensive testing, I'll guide you through the essential information to make an informed, confident choice for your gaming or creative needs. I will start first with the best budget, then the best premium for those who have the budget, and lastly, the overall top choice GPU to pair with the 13700K. I promise to provide insights not just based on specifications, but from real, hands-on experience. Price information and all graphics cards mentioned in the video are available in the description. Let's dive right in. Number 3. Sapphire Pulse AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT. Best budget GPU for the Intel Core i7-13700K. The demand for a powerful GPU near the $300 price point that is decent for 1440p gaming is now higher than ever before. The AMD RX 6700 XT is a GPU that has stepped up as the budget champion for 1440p gaming, especially now that it is consistently available for around $300 to $350. I chose the Sapphire Pulse RX 6700 XT as the budget pick to pair with the 13700K, not only because it is one of the most affordable RX 6700 XT cards, but it is also one of the highest quality RX 6700 XTs thanks to its full array aluminum heatsinks and requires a standard 8-pin and 6-pin PCIe connector for power. In the looks department, it doesn't go for anything fancy. The dark gray aesthetic easily fits in with any PC setup, but it won't impress anyone. What's great, except that it's the cheapest RX 6700 XT out there, is that even with only 2 fans, it does a great job at keeping temperatures around the mid-60s to low 70s degrees Celsius, even during long gaming sessions. However, to save some money, Sapphire did not include any RGB and went with plastic for the fan cover instead of metal. Thankfully, the shroud is hard plastic, which is strong enough to withstand any light damage that cheaper plastics cannot handle. The backplate is also made of plastic and offers no cooling to the VRMs on the back of the PCB. Overall, the build of the card is decent and gets the job done, but I would advise extra care when handling it. Looking at the specs, the RX 6700 XT is paired with a 12GB VRAM buffer that is connected to a 192-bit bus. The 192-bit bus may be an area of concern, especially since you need a wider bus width to accommodate higher resolution. However, thanks to the massive 96MB L3 cache that AMD calls Infinity Cache, the resultant bandwidth is an impressive 384GB per second. In terms of performance, the 6700 XT can easily run AAA games like Doom Eternal, The Last of Us, The Witcher 3, Remnant 2, and Elden Ring at 1440p resolution and give you 60+ frames per second in all of these titles. Only the most demanding games like Cyberpunk 2077 will run at 1440p with around 40 frames per second, so you will need FSR to increase the frame rate above 60 frames per second. Any esports title will have no issue running at 120 frames per second or higher, even at maximum visual settings. That means even 240 frames per second gaming is possible at medium or high settings in games like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant, and Rainbow Six Siege. If we take a look at the direct competition with the RX 6700 XT, NVIDIA has the RTX 4060 Ti, Intel has the Arc A770, and AMD the newer RX 7600. All of these GPUs perform very well at 1440p, but where the RX 6700 XT shines is that it is really balanced in terms of specifications. Except for the Arc A770, the rest have 8GB VRAM connected to a narrow 128-bit bus. The A770 is impressive in terms of specs, but Intel has some serious work to do with their drivers. In conclusion, if you need a GPU that will perform on par and last as long as the Sony PlayStation 5 for excellent gaming and is affordable, the RX 6700 XT is the obvious budget choice to pair with the 13700K. Number 2. MSI Gaming X Slim GeForce RTX 4080. Best premium GPU for the Intel Core i7-13700K. The design of the MSI Gaming X Slim lineup is something all vendors need to copy immediately. MSI is showing that it is possible to fit extremely powerful GPUs in much more compact and well-thought-out coolers that can fit more easily in PCs. The trend of overly built and excessively heavy cards is resulting in potential damage to the PCIe slot due to sagging. The MSI Gaming X Slim RTX 4080 is still quite a large card, but it is a true 3-slot card. It does not occupy more than those 3 slots like other graphics cards do, MSI also includes a GPU support bracket in the box, which is nice considering that anyone would have to spend extra had they not included it. The rest of the design is very attractive. MSI has added 3 fans on the bottom that help keep the card under 70 degrees Celsius, even under full load without any noise. The top of the GPU has a backplate with just the MSI logo and GeForce RTX written on it on a solid background. Then on the side, we see a 12 VHP WR connector that has added fuses for extra protection. The RTX 4080 covers nearly all grounds of what it means to be a top-tier GPU with performance and specs to back it up. It is equipped with a large 16GB GDDR6X VRAM buffer that's connected to a modest 256-bit bus. But the massive 64MB L2 cache helps the GPU achieve a super fast 716.8 GB per second bandwidth, which means that there is no stuttering at all at high resolutions like 4K. The card's performance is nothing short of incredible. Cyberpunk 2077 with ray tracing set to Ultra and DLSS set to quality is extremely intensive, and yet the i7-13700K paired with the RTX 4080 can easily push almost 55 to 60 frames per second at full 4K. Only the RTX 4090 can top the performance of the RTX 4080 when it comes to ray tracing. It is also no surprise that the RTX 4080 is incredible for 4K esports gaming. Games like Apex Legends, Overwatch 2, Rocket League, League of Legends, Dota 2, and Valorant can all be played at a locked 120 frames per second at 4K, with the quality settings turned on to the max. The direct competition to the RTX 4080 is AMD's RX 7900 XTX. They are both available for roughly the same price and perform about the same. The main advantage of the RX 7900 XTX is that it comes with a whopping 24GB of GDDR6 VRAM buffer compared to the RTX 4080 16GB. It performs slightly better in games sponsored by AMD, but otherwise rasterization performance is within 5 to 10% of each other. The main reason why I recommend choosing the 4080 over the 7900 XTX is NVIDIA's software support. Both cards are excellent for playing games with ray tracing turned on, but the RTX 4080 is much faster, which will extend its life into the future. The RTX 4080 is also far more power efficient and consumes between 50 to 80 watts less than the 7900 XTX. NVIDIA is far ahead of AMD in 3D applications such as Blender, Maya, and 3ds Max, so if you're someone who wants a GPU that also offers stellar productivity performance, the RTX 4080 will be a much better choice than the 7900 XTX, even though it costs a bit more. In conclusion, the MSI Gaming X Slim RTX 4080 is pretty much a perfect variant of the RTX 4080. It neatly fits the card in a proper 3-slot design that does not invade space around it, and with the RTX 4080's exceptional video production and 4K gaming capability with ray tracing, it is one hell of a choice for the Intel Core i7-13700K. Number 1. XFX Speedster MERC 310 Black Edition Radeon RX 7900 XT, our top choice. If you're looking to pair a GPU with the 13700K that can play any game at 4K but does not cost an arm and a leg, then the RX 7900 XT is the way to go. Paired with the Intel Core i7-13700K, the RX 7900 XT is going to last anyone a very long time, especially if their main focus is to play games at 1440p max settings at high frame rates. Starting with the looks, the XFX Speedster MERC 310 has a grilled whitish backplate that has a nice contrast to the black fan shroud. The backplate contrasts the PCB to dissipate heat from the card's rear, whereas many other cards only use it purely for aesthetics. There is almost no RGB on the card, which may be a positive for some and a negative for others. This way, the card does not catch anyone's attention due to its simplistic design, and XFX has worked well into making it feel premium. The RX 7900 XT has 20GB of GDDR6 VRAM that is connected to a 320-bit bus. The final bandwidth of the GPU is a staggering 800GB per second, which is more than enough for easy 4K gaming. Of course, the downside to this is the power consumption during gaming. The GPU can consume about 300 watts of power. Performance-wise, the GPU is top-notch and can play almost any game at 4K. Cyberpunk 2077 runs at around 70 frames per second at 4K with high graphic settings, so you can expect to play any game at 4K without any issues. Where this card truly shines is in 1440p, whereas in Cyberpunk 2077 it can produce more than 120 frames per second on average. Similarly, esports gaming is incredible, and the RX 7900 XT can play games like Counter-Strike 2 at 1440p and produce 120 frames per second on average at the maximum quality settings. Another plus point is that it can also do AV1 encoding, and the upgraded media engine makes it a very capable card for editing videos, even in 4K 10-bit. The RX 7900 XT has come down a lot in price, which makes the decision of choosing it much easier, especially for gaming. In terms of rasterization performance, it sits right between the RTX 4070 Ti and the RTX 4080, and on many occasions it is very close in performance to the RTX 4080. NVIDIA has a big advantage over AMD in terms of ray tracing, where the RX 7900 XT can only trade blows with the RTX 4070. Where the RTX 7900 XT does have an advantage is its massive VRAM of 20GB compared to the 12GB of the RTX 4070 and 4070 Ti, and the 16GB of the RTX 4080. This makes the RX 7900 XT much more flexible when it comes to ray tracing or 4K gaming, with ultra-high quality textures which can consume almost 14 GB of VRAM at times. All in all, the RX 7900 XT is a solid card with exceptional performance. It is already an excellent card for 1440p or 4K, and its massive 20GB VRAM will help it last a very long time. It's really an excellent choice for anyone looking to pair it with the 13700K.